Hey, Wes here. Thanks for coming along. I really like these canteens. They are fun to make and they are fun to paint. Kind of a challenge, but certainly doable. And so that's what I thought I would do today, is to make a canteen. And basically, you're just taking two bowls and sticking them together. And they can be the same shape, or if you like, they can be flat on one side and rounded on the other. The only thing is that they need to be the same diameter. Put in a spout and a couple of little lugs and you are good to go. So I thought I would do that today, and so let's get started. I've already got the project going a little bit. Yesterday I built a couple of bowls and put them in pookies. There's different ways you can do this, but basically you need two bowls, and both of these are about the same diameter. Now, so they've dried up and you can see that they've shrunk down a little bit. Hopefully the clay isn't too dry, but I want them to be firm so that I can handle both sides at the same time. So what I need to do then is join the two together. So I will get everything wet along the edges and then use a coil of clay to put the two together. All right, I don't want to wet these edges down, and what I've decided to do is use some vinegar. And my understanding is that vinegar just makes things more sticky. But the key here is to make sure that the two edges are good and wet, and that and I'll probably score this a little bit, and then that it all kind of works out with the coil that I will wrap around this. Wet this edge down a few different times. Hopefully it's wet enough. So now the thing is, I can only seal up the inside on one side of this. I'll be able to reach in a little bit from the spout, but I need to bind this up as best I can. It's no problem on the outside of the canteen, but the inside, obviously, once it's the two pieces are together, you can't do anything on the inside. Okay, let's see if this will come out. There we go. So I'm pushing this down as best I can. Then I'll take it out and see if I can get the seam to kind of fit together. Okay, I think we can get this out of here. Here we go. So obviously it's kind of a mess, but that's all workable, I think. So the goal is to smooth this out. I will have to add additional clay and complete the seam. So I just work my way around, smoothing out, filling in, and then I'll be back to you in a little bit. All right, the two pieces are put together. I'll smooth it out some more as this clay starts to firm up. But in the meantime, since the top and the bottom were actually made yesterday, I'm going to stone smooth these. It's pretty good condition already, but all I do is wet it down and take a stone and smooth it out. I'll polish it later. I have smoothed the pot down pretty well. I'll work on it more later. So now it's time to cut some holes in it for the spout and for the little handles. It really helps to have something to put your pot in to hold it upright and secure, and so it doesn't get beat up. These holes do not have to be exact because you're going to fill them in anyway. But one of the nice things about this is that then you can see inside a little bit at least, and can stick stuff down in there sometimes to smooth out any of the seams that are left over. I'm also going to kind of rivet in these lugs. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to make lugs instead of little loops. I think they look nice. And by riveting them in, they will be much more secure. And maybe that's irrelevant because this is never going to really be used as a canteen anyway, I don't think. You probably can't see, but you can use a flashlight and then look inside and see the seam, and then use a stick or something. You can use a stick or something to try and even out some of it, although some along the sides you just can't get at. Probably not altogether necessary. I think it seamed up pretty well on the sides. Worked pretty well to use the stick to smooth out that seam. So now I've made a couple of lugs, little mushroom shaped things to be put in here. And if you put the hole close enough to this end, you can reach your finger in and smooth things out. It will certainly be a stronger seam or joint or connection if you can do it this way. But then in addition, I want to put on a little, I call it a fillet, around the edge here. It makes a pretty strong seam, and then you just work it in and smooth it out. So the next step is to build up the neck or the spout. So I have a little bit of clay here. It's just like building anything else. Okay, there is the spout on this thing. It's pretty floppy, so I need to let it set up some, straighten some things out a little bit. But we're getting pretty close. Well, I've decided I want to put a lizard on this thing. And so this is more or less the shape, kind of like this. And so it's going to take quite a bit of modeling to get this done. So I'm not a sculptor, so my thinking here is just to get the basic outline done first. Well, there is the basic shape. Needs legs, definitely needs legs. Right now he looks like a snake. I do not like snakes. I will never ever put a snake of any kind on a pot. But for whatever reason, you put legs on a snake and they turn into lizards, and I think they're kind of cute. So let's get some little legs on him. So this is kind of what I'm thinking of. So it's a matter of smoothing them out. Let's see how that goes. Well, his neck is too long, so I need to take these legs off, put them in a new spot. Like I said, I definitely don't want this guy to look like a snake. So I think something like that looks better. They tend to have short little necks. All right, here we go. I think it's pretty much done. I'll let it firm up and then come and smooth it out some more and polish it. Never happy with the spouts on these things, but it's not too bad. And so once it gets all polished and dried, I'll probably slip it and paint it. So that's how you do it. Here we go. I think I'll call it a wrap for this video. It still needs to be smoothed and polished, slipped and painted. But that's how I make a canteen, in this case a lizard canteen. Thank you so much for being here. Really makes a huge difference when you tune in and leave your comments and subscriptions and things like that. So until next time, this is Wes wishing you health, happiness, peace, and love. Take care. Bye-bye.